What's going on, everybody? Demarco here with Honey Bear. We are here for another episode of Beers and Bells. So, gonna have some fun. I want to talk to you about a training modality that's pretty new for me. I've been doing it for the last 9 months, so this is something that I learned during 2020 that I'm definitely going to apply into 2021 and beyond. And basically, it's Indian clubs. So I'm going to talk to you today about the benefits of them, how to apply them and implement them into your programming and training, and why they're awesome and why you should do them. So, and a couple of modifications as well. So super pumped about that. The beer I'm drinking today, featured beer, I am in love with this. It is the Cosmic Distortion by Mighty Squirrel Brewery. Delicious double IPA, and it is, man, it's smooth. Very, very smooth, especially for a double. So I love their slogan also. The Mighty Squirrel Brewery, on their can, it says, "Celebrate Mighty Moments." And I'm already thinking about some cool videos that we can do in the future. Nana, what do you think? Some heavy lifts. We'll tag them and we'll say we're celebrating our mighty moments. So I think that'll be fun. Nano's obviously excited. She's my marketing director, so she's definitely taking notes right now. So also want to remind you guys of the 1,000 subscriber challenge. So once our channel reaches 1,000 subs, we're going to select 5 winners, and each of those 5 winners is going to receive 3 different things. So the first one's going to be 5 free personal training sessions. It's going to be 1 hour each, and it's going to be in person or virtual, depending on where you are. So we'll do Zoom, FaceTime. Obviously, we'll leverage technology if we need to. Of course, for social distancing sake as well, since we are obviously going through a pandemic. And the next thing is going to be a 3-month customized program that's going to be tailored to your goals, and it's going to be accessible via free smartphone apps. That's actually going to be complementary to the training. So they're going to go hand in hand together and synergistically feed into each other. The third thing is going to be one of our SWP shirts, Strength with Purpose. Going to give you a shirt, have you rep the brand, and officially join the Strong Squad. A group of like-minded individuals dedicated to serving others through strength. So something that we're very, very passionate about, and we're very excited for the things we're going to be rolling out very soon as a business and as a company. So Indian clubs. I gotta admit, the first time I saw these things, I was a bit skeptical. I thought they were just some silly gimmick, something that's like, oh, this is something that someone's doing that's, it's gonna pass. Well, little did I know that I was very ignorant, had no idea what I was talking about or thinking. These things have actually been around for thousands of years. So these have actually been practiced in India for thousands of years, and they were actually popular in North America up until the late 1800s, early 1900s. So they actually, it's actually kind of funny. In one of the articles I read, it said that Americans were swinging these regularly, and then they stopped doing this. The emphasis became less on the physical culture, and people started going to the saloon. So I like to do both. So my big thing is balance. So, but I thought that was interesting to when the article talked about the cultural shift that we saw in North America. So, but these things are really cool. So these are a pair of Deviate clubs, and they're going to get a lot of love today, a lot of free marketing because they're awesome. I actually did a course with Phil and Pam Scarito at Deviate back in March, right before the first shutdown, and learned clubs and just loved it. I had a really, really good time. Got a great manual, and they've got some really good illustrations in here, and just a good reference guide for continuing to study the club movements as well as teaching. So shout out to Deviate. If you guys get a chance to do a course with them, I know they do virtual courses from time to time. I highly recommend you sign up for it. It's great value, and you're going to learn some really, really good skills that you're going to be able to apply into the rest of life. So really, really good stuff here. So these are 1-pound clubs. They typically range from 1 to 5 pounds, depending on what you're doing. I like the 1-pounders because these emphasize lighter, faster movements where there's more of a mobility focus. So that's definitely my thing. I haven't gotten into the heavier stuff yet. I'm still pretty new with swinging clubs. But basically what it comes down to is that the Indian club swinging will benefit your health in many different ways. One of the main things that I've noticed immediately is that it will mobilize your shoulders. So we tend to be in a very internally rotated, kind of hunched over position, driving, working, sitting behind a desk, texting, on a computer. Everything is anterior, right? We're always in this kind of hunched over position. And as a result, the muscles in the front of the body, the pecs, the anterior deltoids, biceps, they tend to be overworked and very tight. But then conversely, on your posterior muscles, your upper back muscles, the backs of your shoulders, those tend to be underused and tight for that reason. So it's very interesting. So this actually helps get your shoulders back a little more into what we call external rotation, and helps move your shoulders into a more neutral position to get you kind of out of that, what we would call kind of like a Neanderthal hunched over position, into more neutral shoulder and more of an optimal posture position for you to be while standing. I noticed immediately my shoulders had never felt better after doing these the last 9 months, and my lower back pain dramatically decreased. So this was one of the things that really helped me get my back feeling better. I realized that when my shoulders were forward, it was actually placing my back under unnecessary tension throughout the entire day. And the cumulative effect definitely caught up with me. So it was, that's another reason why, honestly, as a random kind of segue really quick, why we should all hire a coach. I've been a personal trainer for 7 years, and my own training was actually getting me hurt. And when I hired a coach, I had an extra pair of eyes on me, and I was definitely able to start learning and kind of figuring out what I was doing that was wrong, because you will never see what a coach sees. The coach will, especially if you obviously get a really good coach, get a coach ideally that's better than you and knows more than you, which is what I did. I'm very glad I did. Very good investment. But that really good coach will see what you don't, and will be able to help you kind of pull you back from the ledge if you're going a little bit too far or getting out of position, particularly when you're pushing yourself. So shout out to my coaches. I got a bunch of them. The other thing I really noticed with the Indian clubs is that it's very meditative as well. It's very fun. And I definitely just enjoy it. It's just very peaceful, very serene, particularly when I go outside and do it in nature. So I done it a few times with out with my wife when we're on a hike. You know, I got Nano and Lauren out there. We're going on a hike. I'll stop by a stream or just on a trail, or obviously off the trail. I don't want to be in the middle blocking people, but I'll do some clubs outside in nature, and it's very peaceful. It definitely puts me in a good, positive, mindful mindset. And it definitely helps with that. So that's one thing I really loved about it. The other thing I noticed is that my wrists have definitely gotten stronger and felt better as well. It's only a pound, but it definitely adds up, especially when you're first getting started. So when you're doing these movements, you're focusing on mobilizing the shoulders, but actually maintaining a neutral wrist. So there's a little bit of a grip and wrist stability factor in there as well that I noticed. So really, really good stuff for that too. I can't even begin to tell you how much better my shoulders feel, and just how much it's really complemented my training and really just helped me to move and feel better. So I love to lift heavy. I love to hit it hard. I love putting on that Metallica, Pantera, beating my chest like a caveman and hitting it hard. But I've also noticed that it's very important to emphasize the mobility, particularly on the front end, to help you prevent those overuse injuries that are going to happen and get you out of some of those bad positions and bad postures. So, which technically there's no such thing as a bad posture. It's just a matter of you don't want to be in the same posture constantly. Like what a lot of coaches will say is you don't want to live in your sport. You don't want to stay in one constant position the entire time, because then you're going to end up with compensations and eventually injuries and dysfunction, which of course we don't want. So the clubs are a really good way to counteract those positions that we're in all day, that internally rotated, hunched over position that we tend to find ourselves in through daily living. So those were really my favorite parts of the clubs. The other main part of it is they're just really fun. I actually really enjoy doing them. They're very different from the kettlebell or the barbell or bodyweight stuff that I normally do. So they're definitely a good way to kind of break up your sets. I love doing them really at any point during a session. My favorite's kind of the warm-up, so that I remember to do them, because sometimes I'll just forget and then realize later on, oh crap, I forgot to swing clubs today. But my favorite's definitely in the warm-up. But with myself and my students, I've used them for warm-up. I'll use them in between sets. They're great for active recovery. For those of you that are very hyper like me, you like to keep moving, you want to be constantly stimulated with something to do, these are great for that as well, because it's really hard to overdo the clubs. I actually, during my course, our one-day course with Phil and Pam with DVA Fitness, shout out to you guys, we did clubs for about 7 or 8 hours, and my shoulders just felt better and better and better as we did it. So first couple of hours, I was definitely getting a little bit sore, a little bit stiff. but as I relaxed more and as I allowed the clubs to kind of more or less tell me what to do and really give into the movements and the positions, I started to really get the benefits out of it. So it's 7 hours later, my shoulders felt great. So it's I would say not impossible, but it's really damn hard to do too much of it, which is one of the many reasons why I love it. So that's where you can really do it at any point. You do it as a cool down. You can do it as your active recovery in between your sets. You could do it as your warm up. You could do it during your mobility / recovery day. There's really no right or wrong way to do it. So it's just a matter of just working it into your plan and just have fun with it. Don't get too bogged down by sets, reps, this, that. Just swing them and have some fun. So one question that we commonly get is when people see the video, they say, well, I don't have Indian clubs. What can I do? Well, first off, you can actually buy them. I wish I had a link for you, but I'm not that popular yet. But you can actually buy a plastic pair of them on Amazon for pretty cheap. They're about $26, $27. You can also buy the custom ones from Deviate. So if you're looking for something with a higher level of craftsmanship, I highly recommend them from Deviate. These were actually made in Brazil, teakwood. I love these; they're beautiful, and it's nice because we're supporting a local artist, and they're beautiful. I obviously love them. So, but again, if you want a more cost-effective option, you can get them on Amazon for pretty cheap. So, and you can get the 1-pounders, which is what I would definitely recommend that you start with. So, definitely good stuff there. And then, as far as if you don't have clubs, what I've had many of my clients do is use wooden spoons or spatulas or any handheld kitchen utensils, as silly as it sounds. So the way the club's actually designed is that the majority of the weight is actually on the end, very similar to a bowling pin. Most of the weight is on the end, or like a baseball bat, if you will. So the way the weight is distributed, it sets it up to where there's a swinging pendulum pattern that occurs when you're swinging these clubs and when they move around in your hand. So a spatula, a whisk, a wooden spoon, the weight distribution is actually very similar, and those implements are light enough to give you very, very similar benefits to the clubs. So I have students that went ahead and decided to buy some clubs. I also had some that they just didn't want to, and they just wanted to use wooden spoons. There's honestly nothing wrong with that. You can even do the patterns with just your arms at first, and learn those patterns and then progress into adding weight. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it, but I definitely love just getting a pair of clubs because nothing's going to be quite like them. The way that they're designed and the way they're built is obviously going to be different than a wooden spoon, but that's definitely a good alternative if you don't have something. So I even took my toy lightsabers one time as a fun little kind of a joke, but it actually worked. I did some club patterns with the lightsabers, and it actually worked out perfectly. The weight distribution was actually perfect, and they were just light enough to where I was able to swing them, and the patterns actually felt and looked really good. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, and the benefits are just ridiculous. One thing I want to challenge you to do is just give it a try. A lot of people are skeptical anytime there's something new. You know, I certainly am too. I remember 5 or 6 years ago when I was probably about a year or so into my fitness career, and I saw somebody do a Turkish get-up for the first time, and I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen in my life. I watched this person do it, and it just looked like this convoluted, overly complicated movement. And in my mind, I just checked out. I thought it was like some silly CrossFit thing that doesn't have any carryover into real world life. And then, obviously, lo and behold, a few years later, I'm now training the movement, I'm teaching the movement, and I'm singing its praises. So things can change. One thing I want to challenge you to do is to be open-minded. Try to have an open mind and be receptive and try things out. So I highly recommend you try clubs. I would love for you to comment below if you have any questions. Try some clubs out. Anytime you guys have questions, if you want to try a movement out, you want some feedback, you can send us a video. You can email us at dc.conditioning@gmail.com. Or if you're on Instagram, you can find us on Instagram. We're at Strength with Purpose, and you can post a video, you can send us a video, tag us, and we would be more than happy to give you some feedback. So we definitely want to keep growing this audience, growing this community, and serving you through strength. So that is our primary purpose for being here. So I want to thank all of you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit that thumbs up. And if you enjoyed this content and want more of it, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and join the Strong Squad and officially become a member of our community, our very strong community that we've cultivated on YouTube, obviously, as well as Instagram and some other platforms. So thank you all so much for watching, and just want to remind you of the 1,000 subscriber challenge. Thank you so much. I want to leave you with this very empowering mission for yourself. Train your body, feed your mind.